With regard to one of the most interesting and certainly most frightening presidential races in modern American history, where huge, scandalous stories break out every single day and no candidate is immune to aggressive criticism from people with opposing points of view, while the country is probably more divided than ever and in the middle of terrifying social and geopolitical crisis, we wanted to know just how does the leader of the most powerful nation on the planet spend their day? Let's pretend that you were the President of the United States of America, the self-proclaimed leader of the free world. How would your typical day look like? Being the leader of a country is a tremendous task for any person to handle. Being the president of the world's greatest superpower puts it to a whole new level. You wake up at 6:30 a.m. After your breakfast and your morning workout, you are provided with a daily briefing on national security issues through various classified documents prepared by none other than the Director of National Intelligence. These documents contain the most sensitive information on national and international affairs. They may include intelligence on potential terrorist attacks, financial and economic issues across the globe, geopolitical crises arising in several different focal points of utmost importance, turmoils in relations with crucial allies, or domestic issues like healthcare, environment, racial unrest, police brutality, or education. In addition, you read several different newspapers to get a more detailed picture of happenings around the world. You then discuss these matters and events with other senior officials important enough to be provided with top-secret intelligence. Managing a volatile system such as the nation of more than 300 million people, that is the essential part of an even more volatile system such as the world, requires a cool head, methodical approach to solving problems, and ability to think outside the box, as these extremely difficult issues must be dealt with at the same time. After most of the issues have been discussed, you can have your omelette au fromage at around 8 a.m. Following breakfast, start your daily routine of answering letters of your fellow Americans around the country. These letters give you a valuable insight into the way the general public thinks and feels. From a disabled person trying to understand the recent upgrade of the health policy that your administration initiated, to a black person whose loved one died as a consequence of a clash with a violent police officer, to a mother concerned with unhealthy food that her children get in a school canteen in one of the poorest school districts around the country. You try to understand and empathize with these people. You try to give them hope and a better tomorrow. You don't want them to stop believing in America. And most importantly, you get the general idea of the problems concerning the very people you represent, the problems you need to focus on solving. From 9:30 a.m. until 6:30 p.m., you do your meetings and briefings. You have meetings with a tremendous amount of very important people on a daily basis. Commonly, you get to meet domestic officials first. You have a team of experts exclusively formed to help you understand the arising issues and to consult you in every step of solving them. One of the most important aspects of any country's internal policy is education. It is one of the clearest predictors of a country's success. Education is usually the first topic to be discussed. The United States of America lags behind developed nations in many fields, but position of education is especially worrying, so that's your main focus. Then comes the economy. The greatest threat to economic stability of your country is wealth inequality. You and your economic advisors need to work on solutions that will facilitate the effects of income inequality while, at the same time, ensuring existing businesses stay in the country, promoting entrepreneurship, businesses, and preventing exploitation of those who work for them. Social policy is important as well. You need to ensure basic well-being for all the citizens. Law enforcement has seen some huge problems in the recent years. You need to find ways to tackle them in an effective way. However, the great changes take time, so you will have to count on possible criticism from political opposition and your fellow citizens. National security has already been discussed, but it is unavoidable to discuss it at least as frequently as new potential threats arise. These are just some of the mostly domestic issues you have to face on a daily basis. Afterwards, you are faced with the toughest set of issues leaders of powerful nations have to face: foreign relations. America has a reputation of being a world's police, so this makes the job even tougher for you. Now you get more detailed briefings on state of the world, and you have to develop methods to implement foreign policy with your foreign relations advisors. It includes finding new strategies to approach leaders of countries that America has strained relations with, as well as maintaining good relationships with crucial and strategic allies around the globe. Your intervention is often expected in critical areas of the world, like the Middle East, to try to contain and manage crises as well as prevent chaos from spreading. However, these are extremely sensitive issues, and you are going to face aggressive criticism if you intervene and equal amount of criticism if you don't intervene in these regions. You constantly face an almost unbearably stressful decision process as new developments from crisis regions with millions of people that your actions can affect come every single minute. Then you meet diplomatic representatives and sometimes even foreign leaders from various parts of the world. You have to be very careful in your diplomatic approach to these people, as they can be an invaluable tool to spread American interest in the world. Your working day officially ends at around 6:30 p.m. You then have dinner with your family. You try to nurture your relationships no matter how hard your job is, so you try to spend as much time with them as possible. But your work does not totally end after official working hours. You spend the rest of your day doing paperwork and writing until 11:30 p.m. You then try to read for about half an hour before sleep. You go to sleep, but even that is sometimes interrupted by urgent late-night calls. At 6:30 a.m., the circle starts again. Keep in mind that this is just a simplified overview of your daily life in the White House. It can get far more complex than this. Thanks for watching, Madam or Mr. President. Here's the subscribe button. Please click it. We do some pretty cool stuff. You found yourself in a responsible role, and we need to make people aware of this fact. You cannot please everyone, but it is extremely important to keep your and the image of the United States of America as clean as possible. You need to care for your people, even the ones you strongly disagree with. By the way, you are doing a pretty good job. Now, if you would please click like and share if you enjoyed this video.